Good morning, Keller Williams. It's a beautiful day here in Southwest Florida, and there's a lot of you on your way to Anaheim for Family Reunion 2023. And I have, as always, my favorite Brit. Peter is with me. Peter, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Be better if I
Even better. And I like the volume. That's the volume. Pump up the volume.
I'm so not nice. That's the
Pump
second
up the
show in a
jam.
row I let
Yep.
you down.
That's all good. Now we need a new engineer. That's what we need.
We do. This is a lot to control.
It certainly is. It's like flying a plane.
So we're gonna have some fun today. So last week we had a great discussion with two of our colleagues, and there was no demonstration. And today is going to be pretty much all demonstration
because there's a lot of new things going on.
Absolutely.
Pre family reunion. The secrets are getting out of the bag before the event, which is good. We can reveal a few of them.
Yep.
But not all of them. We don't know all of them.
Not all of them. And yeah, we don't even know what all of those are yet. But you probably, if you know, for the agents out there, leadership too, that's logged into Command over the last couple of days, you will notice that your login screen looks completely different.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a sign of things to come.
Mm-hmm.
So while you're out at Family Reunion, or if you're like us, unfortunate souls that got stuck here, actually, I'm okay with it. I'm just missing being with my tech family and the rest of the Keller Williams family that I only get to see at Family Reunion from time to time.
Came out of nowhere.
But I'm okay staying back and being with this guy so that we can bring you the news as we.
And someone has to look after the agents.
Yeah, absolutely.
Business continues.
Yep.
We've still got to keep everything switched on and polished and working right. So it's all good.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. So today we're going to be talking about some command tips and tricks. And what do we mean by command tips and tricks? Well, we'll kind of get into it, but just briefly, some of the little known or not widely used features that you probably don't know about. And a lot of them are just right there, and they're so obvious we don't even know that we can click on them and make things more efficient.
There's two types of command user, really. There's a full-blown, actually uses the system to generate business, to nurture their inquiries and track their metrics and business. And then there's the compliance only user, right?
Correct.
That only goes into command because they want to get paid.
Right. Yep.
So what we want to do is try and enlighten you about the power of command and all of its useful features and benefits from those features, beyond the kind of narrow view that a lot of us, let's face it, if you haven't embraced using a CRM, then you're not getting the full power of command. We've got to make the decision first. Do I need a trackable database that can help hold me accountable? And that's why we use command.
Yeah.
So there is a lot to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're gonna briefly mention the 201 Plus Club because that's something that we're continuing to work on and emphasize. And you kind of hit it right there. Like if you're only using command for compliance, then you're kind of missing out on the benefits of being in the 201 Plus Club and using command at that high level.
And you're paying for something that, frankly, you're not using. And at the end of the day, we're all about value, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're making the investment through your monthly fees, then you ought to be at least looking at the features and benefits of command and deciding whether you can incorporate it into your business and your process.
Yep, absolutely.
So we're very keen to get more adoption.
Yep. So let me switch slides here, and we are in our culture segment. So today we are talking about Keller Williams' vision, and that is to be the real estate company of choice for agents and their customers. And I think where that's showing up big is in Gary Keller's commitment to command.
Yeah,
and providing proprietary software for Keller Williams agents and leadership. And understand that all of this was because Gary cares that much about protecting your data, our data as Keller Williams agents.
Yeah.
That's where this all started.
Yeah.
He got tired of having third party. I certainly did. I mean, Zillow was buying up everything, right? And
still is.
Yeah, they still are. And it was something that was really frustrating to Gary in the fact that we would have third-party relationships, and next thing you know, Big Z buys that company, and now we have to worry about the data. And yes,
showing time and
showing time recently.
Dotloop, is it?
Yep, Dotloop before, but showing time just recently.
So you've got the buyer's information and the activity and the movement of buyers and the number of showings at a property and who's showing it. A lot of very useful information for data mining, right?
Yeah.
And then, then you've got the transaction side. So, you know, why would Zillow invest multi-millions into this? Why would they do it? They're not doing it for the convenience. It's data.
Yeah.
They want it.
Gary's been saying that for years. It's all about the data. Whoever has the most data wins. And that whole thing with showing time that you mentioned, there's a ton of agents that don't realize that showing time was bought by Zillow.
You might as well call Zillow and say, hey, Zillow, I'm showing a house this afternoon.
Well, exactly.
And this is my customer's name.
Yeah. And why don't you go ahead and call them so that you can have your agents try to take my business away? Because that's really what it boils down to.
They're a competing broker.
Yeah.
So we have to treat them as I'm not anti-Zillow, by the way. I think the website's great. I think customers love it. But, you know, they are a competing broker. So we shouldn't I don't want to say this. Peter
does not speak for me. I despise Zillow.
It's out there.
I'm a very transparent person, and they are seeking to eliminate real estate agents. However, moving forward,
being positive,
we have our favorite mustache, and he is protecting our data, and that is why we have proprietary software like Command. And we're going to jump in and talk about some of those tips and tricks.
The other thing I wanted to mention is that Command is the Command is the representation of the systems and models in the Millionaire Real Estate book. That's what Command is. It was built on the systems and models in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book. So to not embrace Command, but yet embrace the book doesn't make sense.
Correct.
It's like, if this whole custom tool has been honed and designed to give you the power to operate the models and utilize the systems, which are proven to million times, you know, they've been proven thousands upon thousands of successful agents. So you got to look at Command and say, Command is a computerized version of the book.
Yeah,
it's designed to allow you to function with the backdrop of the systems and models. So got to be really, really positive about Command. And the other thing is, if you've not looked at Command in the last 2 years and you're criticizing it, saying, oh, well, it's glitchy, it's buggy, you need to log in because it isn't.
It's not.
Right? Like any software, and especially right now, this week, lots of updates coming through. It doesn't matter what program you're using, there's always going to be an issue here and there. But generally speaking, it's extremely reliable, works well. I don't have problems with it. I mean, I'm saying this and we'll do a demo and it won't work, right?
Well, let's hope not.
That's life. But generally, I use multiple software products because I like to keep my knowledge of the competition. And it's as good as, in terms of reliability, the other products. In terms of functionality, it's actually better. There's one thing you can do with this system that you simply can't do with the others, and that's bulk add thousands of people to smart plans. You'll find other systems only allow you to do a limited number or one at a time. And that is, I can't express it's like having a mechanic, right? And he's got a tool for a car, and you have to have this specific manufactured tool to make the car work. Right. Well, you have to have Command to make MREA work.
Yeah.
Right? And it's got features in it which are not available elsewhere that allows us to communicate en masse with thousands of people at once. It can cause you to 10x and multiply your business just because of that one feature.
Yeah.
It's absolutely awesome.
Yeah. I love that you made that correlation of Command to the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, because believe it or not, we are not just nerds and tech people. We actually, well, Peter and I are actually both licensed and have practiced real estate. And
like 50 years between us.
That's right.
That's terrifying.
And we've been having high level conversations about this, right? You know, we've all heard there's MREA2 coming out, and I personally can't wait for that to happen, because I'm looking for the tie to the technology so that people aren't going by the book, just by the book, because Command, as Peter said, is the technology that goes by the book. So also, like you said, if you're not embracing Command, then you're ultimately not embracing the MREA.
No. Well, you'd have to have a shoebox and some cards.
True. And we all know one person who started his career that way, and it was in, obviously that grew to an empire. I don't recommend you go back 40 years though.
No. It's a lot of ink.
Yeah, absolutely. So our objective today is for you to learn about little known or not so obvious features of Command, and the benefits you'll gain from that are navigating Command with efficiency, sorting your database quickly and efficiently, because there's a couple of little things that will really help you sort your database. And you're going to realize some other benefits too as we go through.
Yeah, I mean, one of them is you can customize how it looks.
Mm-hmm.
So you can lay out the workflow yourself, and you can decide where things are going to go.
Yep.
Like, you know, they say what you focus on grows.
Yeah, what you focus on expands.
Right.
That's
so
our BOLA.
you can move some of the windows within the command front page so that you are focusing on certain aspects of your business. So it might be that you're trying to build a bigger downline of more agents within your network for profit share. That can now be placed front and center. We're gonna show. I don't want to. I'm spilling the bean.
No, it's okay. I was creeped out because it's almost like you were in my living room at 1 a.m. as I was putting that outline together, because that's exactly one of the things I put in there for us.
Right, that's cool.
All right, so just again to refresh your memory about the 201 Plus Club, the reason we're doing this and emphasizing the importance of being intentional with Command is the fact that at 201 plus contacts, the GCI line starts to soar at that point.
Yeah, it's the I hate to use that term. What do they call it? The hockey stick.
The hockey stick.
Like down hockey stick. It's a new one of those.
That's a mangled hockey stick.
It's a bit of a bent, kind of crushed hockey. But there is, you know, exponential growth appears than the higher number of contacts. But the growth starts at about 200, right? Now, the thing is, the whole point of this podcast is to get engagement with growing your database. So even if you start with 10 and then build to 20 and try to do 10 a week, it doesn't take long, 10 weeks before you're into that 201 range. And it's proven that agents who have met contacts at 201 in number, who have them on a smart plan, who have created tasks and are doing follow-up, 30, 60, 90-day follow-up, they will earn more than 119,000.
Right.
So this isn't like a mystery. This is a fact. And it's really, really important for everyone to look at their business and say, okay, I'm already earning 119,000. Cool. Great. You could earn another 119,000 if you had this database in place.
Yeah. And honestly, with very little extra effort. One of the things that is so key here, and this is something that I emphasize all the time. I want our agents, Keller Williams agents, to realize that they are entrepreneurs, that they own their own business. You are not the employee of the broker, right?
Oh, well, there's something I haven't spoken about for ages, and it came to me the other day. Why? Right. So I'm going to tell you about England.
Okay.
Because England, the market is different. So in England, there's no such thing as a broker.
There's no regulation either. But
well, there is, but it's done through a different method. So there isn't a specific real estate license, but there is very heavy regulation on behavior, advertising standards, ethics, and all that stuff. So it's regulated, but it's not regulated in the NAR kind of fashion. It's different, but it's still, you know, if you do something wrong, you're out of the business. Let's put it that way. So it's regulated, but there are no buyers agents. It's you list to exist. So basically you list a home, you sell it, the customer who wants to look at 4 houses has to contact 4 different agents,
Gotcha.
one for each property. So it's different. But they're called real estate agents, and you have an agency, right? Which is a business. And quite often it's a building. You know, you're in a high street, you've got the window, you've got the pictures of the houses in the window still. There is no MLS. There are websites that cover most of the major, you know, agencies out there. But the privilege of having a real estate agency is really front of mind. You're proud to say, I'm a real estate agent, because there is no broker. You are the brokerage.
Right.
You know, you are the agency.
Yeah.
So when you're in America and you get a real estate license and you sign an agreement with a provider such as Keller Williams, you are opening your own agency. You're an agent with an agency.
Right.
And I never hear American agents talk about their real estate agency, because it is a business within a business.
It is. And I'll tell you that the reason you don't hear it much is because I don't think the vast majority of agents realize that they are the entrepreneur of their own business. They are an independent business owner.
Yep.
And that's why we got to get in the mindset and think that way, right? Yes, you have to follow policies and procedures that are, you know, put forth from the broker or, you know, the market center, the brokerage that you work for, if it's not Keller Williams. But you need to get in the mindset of being the business owner, you're the entrepreneur of your own business, because you're doing your own P&L, you're tracking your numbers,
you're paying your taxes.
Ding, 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 which is the biggest failure of most agents. They do not know their numbers. They don't track their numbers. And that's what we're talking about with the intentionality of the 201 Plus Club. We were in a market where you could wake up and make the first $119,000 that we see in this graph, right?
Yeah,
you could.
We were,
because that's how hot the market was. Now, if you want to make the next 119 or even that first 119 again this year, you're going to have to be skill based. You're going to have to start learning your contracts, because this is something I harp on all the time. I know for a fact that there's a lot of agents out there who their buyers and sellers know more about what's in that contract than they do. And that terrifies me. Okay. But not to harp on that, but it is a skill-based market, and it is time to be very intentional and not have a studio right on 41 with motorcycles like that going by.
Sounds like we're outside. So from the Grand Prix this afternoon,
that's right.
In the lead, pole position.
So we just want to emphasize the fact you are your own business owner, and you need to be intentional. You need to track your numbers. You need to know your conversion rates.
This all comes from mindset, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why it happens. So you get your real estate license, and you don't know much. You've got enough to pass your license, but you don't know much. You don't know,
but I know I love
no. Anyway, so you don't know a lot, and you say to yourself, right, I'm going to join an organization that's going to provide the training. And what happens is you feel like you're going to work for Keller Williams because you've been in employment. Now you're self-employed. You are not going to work for Keller Williams. You are going to work for yourself.
Yep.
And the service of your customers. So I think what it stems from is the mistake that you are operating part of the franchise for the franchisee of the Keller Williams office, right? And you're not. You're a self-employed business with its own identity, its own brand that's built upon the stage of Keller Williams, with the backdrop of Keller Williams. But front and center is you as a business owner. And you are, if you're in real estate, an entrepreneur, and you better start thinking like one.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's something that popped into my head that's so interesting. So when you're intentional about your business and you're building a big business because you're focused on your numbers and everything, other brokerages are coming to interview you.
Yep.
You're not unhappy going to other brokerages, interviewing which next one you want to jump to.
You get noticed.
Yeah.
You get noticed.
Yeah. And as we've mentioned on a previous episode, when you get intentional about your business and you build your business, like we talked about, legacies worth leaving, that's actually something you can sell for money, cash.
I think with 10 years from now, when business brokers understand the value of an agent's database, it's going to be a multiple of income. It might be, 2 times, 3 times income, but let's say you've got 100,000 a year coming in.
Right.
I think you could sell your database for 300,000 in 10 years time.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
And with financing, owner financing, and different ways of I mean, I'll tell you how I know this, because big brokerages are buying small brokerages every day with no money changing hands.
Right.
They're basically saying, give me your pool of agents, give me your database, and we'll give you money back. You basically use their own money to pay you over a 5-year window. So if that can take place for small town brokerages that get bought up by the big guy in the county, or I don't want to name names, I've got to be careful, but there's a company in the north that's buying brokerages in the south in great number, like 20-25 brokerages a year, and it's building up a really, really big empire of a big 2,000 agents plus. And there's not a lot of money required. It comes from the productivity and production.
Gotcha. So they're getting paid over time.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, if I build up a team of 4 or 5 agents, or 6 agents, 10 agents, and then in 10 years' time, I say to another larger team, do you want to buy my team? Keep paying me for the next 5 years X amount of dollars from revenue. Then your database is going to be worth, and your agents is going to be worth a tremendous amount of money, and it's going to facilitate true retirement.
Right.
And we don't talk about it. No one's talking about it, but we need to build our databases so that we can demonstrate the value to a business broker and to a potential buyer down the line. And this will be a change in the way we operate and exit from the business.
Yeah.
So, but it all starts with, honestly, using a CRM.
Yeah, absolutely. And so at the beginning of that, you said that you firmly believe that business brokers will pay attention to the worth of a database of an agent, right?
Yeah.
The fastest way to get there is for our agents to realize the worth of their database.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. So
cool.
Let's move on here. And it is time to demonstrate. So we're trying a new system here, so bear with us. We're going to be fighting over the same cursor. I set Peter up over here with his own little station to the main computer, and we've already
we're fighting over the mouse.
That's right.
Yeah,
we've already had a little tussle over the mouse cursor. So
yeah.
I did post the instructions to give Facebook permission to use your avatar so that we know who you are if you do want to comment. And then we're going to try something new today as well. And that is, if you would like to call in live, then you can call in at 941-281-5004. And I'm going to put that in here and flash that up on the screen.
So if you're watching this later, because this goes onto YouTube as a recorded video, obviously don't call him.
Yes, please don't call.
You're just going to get Brett and he's going to be at the coffee shop going, what do you mean? What do you mean, pal?
That's right.
So if you happen to be watching the live stream, feel free to call in with any questions about Command. We'll be happy to try and answer them.
Yep, absolutely. So let's go ahead and jump in here. And Peter, I'll share my screen first. So let me share my screen here. And I'm going to choose. I don't know which is which. So we're going to find out here.
All right. Well, I
believe this one's probably me. Yes. Okay. No, I don't know.
We'll open another window. So go into Command and open another window. Then we can tell which one we're sharing.
Well,
because we're both on the same window.
Oh, we are?
Yeah, we're both looking at the same version of.
Oh, okay. Well, then it's being goofy. You don't still have the window with the black border?
No, I'm red.
Okay. All right. Well, then I'm going to let you drive.
Okay. Well, I think if I can get the mouse to come back here while you check the. There we go.
Yeah. So I kind of put these things in order for us to go through. So I'm just going to pull it up on my phone since I don't have control over my screen over here.
We got to make sure that we're broadcasting correctly. The thing about we're running this incredibly powerful software that would normally require a dedicated person to be doing it. So we just have to.
We're doing the best we can. We appreciate you bearing with us. Even tech guys have tech problems.
Yeah. So it says sharing this tab to StreamYard. There we go. Looks good.
Yeah.
I think we're good.
Yeah.
So there's changes, right? What's been going on?
Yeah. Look at that.
Family reunion is coming up this weekend. And every day so far for the last few days, there's been alterations to what you can do and some really cool benefits. The one thing I'm liking is there's a change to the color scheme.
Yeah.
Which I know it sounds like such a minor thing, but it isn't. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
It makes it a lot easier to use.
It is.
So go ahead.
One of the things that I wanted to point out, so this is one of the easiest that is probably one of the most hidden if you're not aware of it, and that is clicking on the red square with the white KW in the top left to open up your applet menu,
which I've just done, and you can now see the names of each applet.
Right. So if you're not sure what those icons are, there's two ways to go about it. You can hover over each one and it will show you, or you can just click on that red square white KW in the top left of the browser window, like Peter just demonstrated, and that will actually expand the menu and give you the icon and the name for each of those applets.
It would. Let me have a look. I'm just making sure that that is the one that's sharing. I think it is. So we've got it's like some kind of brain conundrum, this, because I've got a window showing, and I've got another window showing with the same command account. It's really confusing. So are we both in the same demo one? Because mine opened up the window and yours didn't. That's weird. All right. Well, anyway, there we go. So down the left-hand side, we've got home, contacts, tasks, smart plans, referrals, opportunities, campaigns, reports, designs, listings, and consumer. So by clicking on that button, you can actually see what each of the icons means. And honestly, some of the icons, they are pretty well designed. You know, they're intuitive. You've got the pen or the paintbrush on designs. You've got the listings. You've got the for sale sign. You've got shaking hands for opportunities, which is transactions and business. Referrals, you've got the map, you know, showing where the other agents are when you're making a referral. So they do make sense. But even I use this thing every day, sometimes go over to the left-hand side and go, which one is it? It's useful just to have that click.
One of our MCTTs did that yesterday on the call and got called out by one of the senior MCTTs, and it was a joke, but it was rather funny.
Oh, well,
like you should know what those icons mean by now.
Absolutely, but you know, it's always in the moment, right?
Yeah.
Then there's something new. So on the top of the command page, we now have some new widgets, which are really cool. So what these widgets do is they give you insight into your database and let you know what anniversaries you got coming up this month, what birthdays you've got. Recently active is the one I really like, because if you've got a database of 200 people, you want to know which ones are engaging, which ones are taking a look at properties online. If they're registered on your website and there's a link between you and them because of the registration on the website, you're going to see the properties that they've looked at. You're going to see saved searches that they've engaged in, requests for information, which is really important. And the big one is showing requests.
Yeah, so that's a brand new update.
Yeah, and that comes through on the recently active button. So there is another change in the background, which we're going to do it. We'll probably do a show next week about everything, because honestly, there's going to be so many updates.
Well, and we don't want to spoil anything that those at Family Reunion are going to see anyway.
No.
But we're actually just here pointing out, because Peter and I are both very active MCTTs, and we know what happens. One little thing changes and our agents get a little bothered with change, right? Most people aren't comfortable with change. And so we're just pointing out the things that went live over the last couple of days. So if for some reason you're not going to Family Reunion, we want you to be aware of what they are. Realize that it's okay to be comfortable with those changes and that they are there to make things more efficient. And I think you're going to like some of it, because when Peter gets towards the bottom of the dashboard, we're going to see a new feature for those of us that are intentional about growing our profit share tree. We've got some stuff there.
Yeah. So one change that's happened that's not obvious just by looking at command is that the emails that go out for saved searches and for the neighborhood nurture now have links to properties which take the customer back to your website. So rather than previously going to an unbranded page, which was just KW, and we didn't really know what they're looking at and what engagement there is with those emails, we can now see, is a customer responding to the properties that we're sending them? Are they opening it, looking at it, and are they clicking on it, and are they requesting information or a showing request? So that gives us a tremendous power for conversion of leads, because we've got insight into the activity of what's going on with each lead. So that means we've got to do something. We've got to get more and more of our database signed up on our website. So it might be that you give them a call, say, hey, I want to book an appointment with you for 5-10 minutes. I just want to show you some new technology that we have. It's going to help you keep up to date with the real estate market, understand what's been sold in your area, what your property values look like, what's available, what the competition is. And obviously, if you're thinking of buying, what's new to the market. I just need to walk through signing up for it. It's completely free. And I really think it's going to be a big value to you. So can we book an appointment, say, on Tuesday at 2 to go over this, and then walk them through the sign up on your website? Because a lead in here is just a lead. A lead that's linked to your website allows us now to have insight into what that consumer is doing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Sign them up.
And when you go back and listen to this replay and write down word for word what Peter just said, because he just gave you the script.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
Yeah. So we've got that new feature on there. There's some icon changes, which are now in a very nice, like that. It's like a cross between a navy blue and a royal blue. Royal blue, I think they call it. Very nice looking. It's that
I swear, it's like we're on the railroad tracks now.
Outside is unbelievable. So we can actually customize this view, which I'm going to show you. On the right hand side here, there's a customize button. And this allows you to move around the various widgets on the front screen of your command. So if you want to focus on, design updates, or you want to focus on your goals, or profit share is something that's going to appear in a second, we can move that to be front and center. So down the bottom of the screen here, as I scroll down, we have these various widgets. These are these rectangle shaped windows. We've got the database health, which shows you, do you have the right mix of information in your database? In other words, the health of your contacts. Have you got a phone number, an email, a secondary email, occupation, physical address, subscribe to neighborhoods, which is the big one. You want to make sure everyone is subscribed to neighborhoods. So this allows you to stay focused on improving that, because it's going to be right in front of you each day. But down the bottom, I think I'll let Brett talk about this. We are showing the profit share window that's now down the bottom end of the screen.
Okay. Let me hijack this real quick so that I can see what's going on here. And I'll give that back to you. So the profit share window that you're looking at right now. So we're using a demo account because I'm tired of for confidentiality. I've been having to blur the screen in post editing, and we're just trying to keep things confidential and limit the work so that we can get these out to you as fast as possible. But you have your profit share here. And the other thing too, and I'm just going to jump in real quick to make sure I'm not telling you wrong. You will notice in your command app, so your command app was updated as well. And in your profit share, which is on the command app, your profit share widget is at the bottom. It's the only one really at the bottom, but it happens to be on the left-hand side. And when you open that, it's going to show you your latest, your previous, your totals year over year, and your profit share tree participants. Okay. And this right here, this is a demo account, so it's not showing it to you, but all of those things that I just mentioned in the command app will actually be in this widget. So now we can if it's not on your calendar, it doesn't exist. If you don't write your goals down and have them in front of you every day, they're just dreams, right? So that's the whole point of having the profit share widget here, is that if it's in front of your face every day, you can be reminded that you need to be more intentional about it if that's something you choose to do. Not everybody needs to participate in profit share, but it is really nice to have that that residual income, that what do we call it, without having to be active? What do we passive income? Thank you. It's nice to have that. 2 years ago, that money paid my property taxes for the year.
Yep.
It was awesome. So
yep. So again, you focused on it, right? So
yeah.
if it's right in front of you, it's on the screen. There are some pro tips about how to attract agents into your downline. So it says here, tips on getting the conversation started with potential recruits. Host a social event with like-minded people. So if you've got people that like past employees that where you used to work, they might want to become agents.
Sure.
Right. So have a talk and hold an event where you talk about your experience of becoming an agent and how we can talk about is it K-score?
Yeah, K-score.
The real estate class, which is I guess it's subsidized so that it's free.
Yep. One of the agents, one of the newer agents in my office was actually identified by one of my fellow investors, business partners here in the market center at Ace Hardware.
Oh, yeah.
And she's a dynamic young lady and she's going to do really well.
Cool.
Yeah. So you never know where you might meet that person. And, profit share, yes, it's nice to have that money in our pockets, but it's also satisfying and much nicer to realize that you've changed somebody's life and set them on a path for potential they probably didn't even know they had.
Exactly. Yeah, 10xing their income on the way.
Yeah.
So the other one is to set up a smart plan for reaching out to fellow real estate agents. In the smart plan library, there are recruitment smart plans, which are pre-written by other people, and you can go and edit them and bring them up to date and make them your own. And so you can keep in touch with agents. So you can use your CRM not just for customers, you can use it to help build your profit share.
So Peter, if I didn't like the order that those things are on in my dashboard, can I change that?
We can. So if we wanted to focus our attention in a different way, we can go to customize here, and I can get the profit share tab, and I can simply move it to the top, click apply. And I think I have to refresh the screen. No, it's already done.
Yeah, no, you're good.
So now when I log in, it's immediately bringing my attention to profit share at the top. Got tasks down below. Honestly, there's no right and wrong with this. It's just how does it feel for the workflow for you?
So I'm gonna give a couple of tips and let you redesign the dashboard based on my input here.
Yep.
I don't care about design updates.
Right. So we're gonna put that down the bottom.
Yeah, well, I can, if I don't want to see them at all, I can even turn them on. On that left-hand column,
there we go.
I can actually choose what shows and what doesn't.
So
okay. And I don't care about product updates.
No, because that's kind of geeky, right? I mean,
well, that's what they have us for.
Yeah.
We'll let you know what's being updated.
Yep.
Right. So I don't want that. Now, I don't ever want to miss a lead.
No. So you want to have recent leads right at the top.
Yep. Right at the top.
There we go.
And then I want to explain the notepad real quick. So the notepad is a nice feature because when you're on a phone call and you've got command open in front of you, here's what I like in command too. Okay. Talk about agents being entrepreneurs. You own your own company. Let's just pretend you own, as your real estate business, you're the entrepreneur of your own Fortune 500 company. Almost every Fortune 500 company, I would imagine, has an intranet. That's how you punch in for work. It's open in front of you all day. It's telling you what needs to be done, all that stuff, right? That's really how we should be utilizing command. It's the first thing we log into. It's on our screen all day, and it's giving us our tasks and everything. So as I'm going through my calls, or somebody calls me and I'm not actually in the contact record because it just happens so fast, if that notepad's up on my dashboard all the time for me, I can just type in a real quick note. I love that feature.
Yeah, it's cool. So we're going to keep that up in position 2 on the right-hand side.
Yep. And then my tasks, I would probably put over profit share.
Yeah, because you need to know what's going on for that day.
And then profit sharing goals, I mean, those could go either way. I think the database health, especially because we're talking about 201 plus club, database health is important. So
yeah, well,
I'm leave that there too.
I might put that up above profit share, to be honest with you.
Yeah, because I agree.
You're going to earn 119,000 from this. You have to have a big profit share to get 119,000. So
yep.
So that would be my layout. We're happy with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it.
So click apply,
and look at that.
And now we've got recent leads on the right hand side. So this is going to become more and more apparent. But if you share on social media and by email, by doing saved searches and doing neighborhood nurture and posting listings from landing pages that you build, really quick and easy, you upload. We've shown you that in a previous episode. So if you share that, you're going to see real-time data of what the consumer's doing, especially if you have this feature switched on, which I just want to jump into real quick. So under, actually, I think it'll do it. So under settings, am I going to the right place? No, I'm not. For the lead registration, it's under site apps and settings, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, to change how many properties they can look at?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. It's under site and app settings.
Yeah.
So Peter clicked on the consumer applet, which is the last icon on the left-hand side.
I don't think this demo account's going to let me do it.
Right.
No, it
does not.
Yeah, that's a shame. So what we were talking about is if you can do this on your command account, is you go to the consumer applet, which is the one down the very bottom left. Click on it, then go to site and app settings. A page will come up where it says, do you want your customer to look at no properties before they have to register?
Right.
2 properties or 10.
Yeah.
So you can have it unrestricted. I would strongly recommend it if you want to lead generate by sharing links, which is what the goal is I would set that to 0, where you have no properties to look at, and you're basically forcing a registration. Now, there's different views on it. Some people say 2, but honestly, if you try it out and see what feels good for you, but in my experience, and I've done a lot, like probably $1 million in ad spend over the years, is if you want to get return on your ad spend, you need to have it switched to 0, so people just register, because customers are used to doing it. And if they've got an intent to buy, they're more likely to register. If they're just browsing, they'll just move away. So it kind of creates a top of funnel experience for us, where these consumers that fall away, we can always retarget them. We can always say, because what you can do is if someone doesn't register, you can go ahead and remarket. But anyway,
got you. So I'm typically of the opposite school of thought. I don't like it being 0 because I feel like they're going to bounce, but I value how much experience you have in
the thing is,
online lead generation.
We don't care if they bounce, as long as we get people who do register, because they're the people who are going to
the ones that are bouncing. Well, like you said, the ones that are bouncing are probably not serious to begin with.
No, and they can go look at Zillow, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
See ya.
Right.
We're interested in people. So what you've got to do is we're getting off track maybe, but you've got to create ad copy that gives someone enough information to want to know more in exchange for giving their name. So basically it's a MOFA. It's a make offer for instant response.
Yep.
So what we say is we might do a listing that doesn't have a price on it. So to find out the price, they've got to put the name and email in.
Right.
You might do an open house and not say when it is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're giving enough information to tease the consumer to want to know more, and in doing so, give us their name. And we're not asking for name, phone number, and email here. This is just a name and email registration. Right. To create a lead opportunity.
Well, we've mentioned that so many times. I know we're going to do an episode just on that.
Yeah.
Because I can't wait to learn some of that. I thought I did that stuff at a high level, and then I met you, and you do that pretty much all day, every day. So I'm looking forward to that as well.
So anyway, the point I'm making is that now we have the widgets on the dashboard right in front of the top. We want to see activity in those widgets. And the way you get that is by getting engagement with your content.
Right.
And getting engagement with your content requires to have some form of registration. So either you're going to walk people through it with a script, call them up and talk to them, or you're going to get new consumers who haven't previously engaged with you to register. So therefore, my feeling is this system will work better with some form of registration requirement, whether that's 2 properties, then you register on the 3rd,
Mhm.
or whether it's 0 and you register immediately. That's a debate we're going to have all forever.
Yeah, for sure. Because I feel like you need to give them a little bit of value before you ask them for their information.
Yeah. Well, true. I mean, it again, it's all about
it could go on. That debate will go on forever.
Yeah.
Um,
Shame we can't run 2 different websites and see what happens at the end of the year.
So that you could benchmark it.
Yeah.
So another thing, unless you have something, one thing I wanted to show was our contacts and that little feature where we can show more than the 10 that it defaults to, because not everybody realizes that's there.
Absolutely. So I can't demo that easily on here because we only have 3 contacts in it. But on the right-hand side here, it normally comes up with 10. You can set it to show 100.
Yep.
Or 50 or 25, right?
Yeah.
It's down here, look. So we've got 25 contacts at a time, 50, 100, or even 500. You know, if you've got a really big database. Yeah. You can manipulate and deal with 500 contacts at a time.
Yep, absolutely. Yep. So it does still work there. There only happens to be three test contacts in this. But if you're sick and tired of, when you're trying to work in there and you only see the first 10, that's the little nuance right there. Just click on that. It will give you that drop down and you can search for, as you can show up to 500 contacts. So another one here, Mr. Peter, is bulk action.
Yeah. So I absolutely love this. So when you've selected some contacts, you have a drop down menu here. My screen just went a little high. Okay. So you've got add activity, add a note, add tags, add to email list, add to smart plan, add to smart plan in bulk. See, there's 2 things that Command has that you can't buy, right? Which makes it incredible value. Number 1, the whole MLS.
Yeah, absolutely. The entire United States.
Yeah.
Parts Canadian
of Canada,
listing.
Parts of Mexico, I believe. Yeah. So you've got the whole of the MLS. I mean, I'll tell you right now, if my market center said, look, we're going to have to part ways, I'd go, okay. Because all I do is run ads all around the country into this, create referrals, go to the referral network and say to the next agent, I've got a showing request. Yeah. You could literally make money without actually having to meet a customer in person. Well, there's a business within a business here.
So there is.
I mean, I hope this never happens, of course, because I do enjoy my role.
Yes, and you do a very good job. I can't imagine having 5 market centers. So one of the things I want to talk about, though, you said you could actually make a business out of this. Why would an agent care about having the entire, every MLS across the country? Well, think about this. I could actually set up a referral where I have already started showing my friend properties in, let's say, Scottsdale, Arizona, and they've already limited everything down to 10.
Yep.
I could reasonably expect a higher referral fee because I've already done a whole bunch of the work as far as the searching goes. Now, obviously, that's an agreement you have to come to with the agent that you're referring to, but you can imagine the possibilities. And then even like, let's say you just did it standard and I just, sent the referral off and I don't know anything about what's going on there. When I can still kind of look at the properties that are going on. My friend tells me, I looked at this one. This is the one that we're going to make an offer on. And I can look at it and kind of keep track of things.
Yeah. Then the other part of it is with the average CRM, you get your local board connected. Yeah. And it isn't even really integrated.
Oh, yeah. Let's not even talk about how many dollars we're saving by that, right? Because with most websites, you're gonna get one MLS integration included in the price, not free, then included in the price
for an extra one.
Yeah, I've actually, in my experience, I've paid 80 to 120 or more for each additional.
Yeah. So here's the scenario. We have a customer who lives up in New York, in New York State, and he's thinking about Florida.
Okay, hopefully he's going to the other coast.
Right, could be going to either coast, right? And that's the thing. Because we have the full MLS, we can service that client whilst they make that decision. Am I going to live by the Gulf of Mexico or am I going to live by the Atlantic?
Right.
And these are genuine common
they are
considerations
for sure.
that people make, because they look at it and go, it's kind of more humid on the left-hand side on the West Coast. It's a little less humid. It's a little warmer on the way, but there's more amenities and what have you for retirees down in Southwest Florida than perhaps there is in Northeast Florida. So anyway, the point is we can service a lead with factual information, saved searches, neighborhood recommendations across the state, never mind the country. And keep that person engaged. And I can't tell you the number of times I've had a lead contact me and say, I'm not thinking about Port St. Lucie anymore. I'm thinking about Tampa. And I go, great.
Awesome.
I can help you with Tampa. Here's which neighborhoods are you interested in? Because we have the whole state in our hands. So
and they have access to aerial imagery on our website so that they can see the congestion or not, depending on what there's school ratings on our websites. So all these things that are valuable to your customers that are thinking about locating to a new area, all of that stuff is there for them.
You just got to get them on the website. That's the key. It's just it's a proactive, intentional,
or your app. Either way,
campaign.
It's a pretty similar experience.
It's the same thing. So bulk actions are really cool. So with bulk actions, you can add various bits of data to your lead. You can also do mailing labels. You can export mailing labels as a PDF and then print them directly onto.
And that's important to a lot of
labels.
agents. One of my agents actually just asked me about that a couple weeks ago. So there's one thing I want to mention real quick here. So I'm actually a labs advisor, and we have quite a few of them in our region. And if you weren't sure that what we say actually matters, that menu that you're in right there, the bulk action, that did not used to be in alphabetical order. It was all over the place.
Right.
And that was a lot of input from labs advisors saying, look, we'd like this to be in a format that makes a little more sense.
Another feature you've got here is to send a text message. Now, I think you can send, is it 200 at a time maximum?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, so you'd have to check that with the Twilio account that you've got linked to your account. But again, other CRMs don't have this. There is no bulk sending of text. With a major competitor CRM that a lot of the independent agents are using, I'm not going to mention names because we're on a podcast, but you can only send one text at a time. You can only add one smart plan at a time. With this, the time saving, like if you've got an open house and you want to invite your 201 contacts to the open house, you can do it, 200 of them, you can do it with one click.
Gotcha. The 200, we will check that limit and post it in the comments. I've got 49 in my head because at 50 you're spamming.
Maybe I've got 200 in my head, but anyway, but after again,
we will update it in the comments.
This is a Twilio rule rather than
okay, I got it. I see what you're saying.
So if I had data in this CRM, we could demonstrate it very quickly and find out. But anyway, whatever the number is, you can send the same text message to a group of people. We're not, remember, you must follow the do not call. You must follow that. If you've got a phone number in here, you need to make sure that that person has given permission for you to contact them one way or another, preferably, well, actually in writing. So by registering on a website, which is another reason why we want them to register. Right, is to get those permissions resolved. So
Peter, show me what a smart view is.
Okay, so on the top right hand side here, we've got smart view. So smart view allows you to customize what you first see, the default smart view, or switch between different views of the same data.
So a smart view essentially is a view of my contact database based on certain filters that I've used to come up with that view of my database.
Exactly. So for instance, if we're going to be writing out postcards, birthday cards this month, we can just click one button and all the contacts that have a birthday are going to show up. So we're going to see the birthday view. There is upcoming home anniversaries. The one I really like is leads that you've got, contacts that you have that have no neighborhoods attached. So this, again, you cannot do this in other databases, which is a negative search, because what we want to do is make sure everybody has a neighborhood subscribed. So this allows you to look at your database and say, right, I've got 201 and 50 of them don't have a neighborhood subscribed. So I'm going to look at those 50 and focus on making sure that each one of them, by calling them, saying, hey, I don't want to send you information that's not relevant to your search in the future. What I wanted to give you is 2 sets of information. 1 about where you live now, and 2 about the neighborhoods that you may be thinking of moving to. So if I was to go through this today, what neighborhoods are sparking your interest right now?
Yeah.
Let's get you on that.
That's awesome. You guys definitely have to go back and listen to the replay and write this down, because the conversations that Peter has provided today. So that's the second one that I recall, and they've been fire. Those are definitely the conversations you need to have.
It's a lot of time talking to people. Who should I call? So again, this is like a hot sheet of people that the system is saying you should be calling next. So you've got who should I call? But you can actually customize your smart view in multiple ways. So
I want to run through a demo start to finish real quick. So let's take, can you well, first let's show them how we would unfilter everything.
Okay, so basically you've got a button here where you have a little clear all, so you've got no filters running, click apply, and then on smart view you go to all contacts. So you're basically seeing everything at once. Okay,
so let's create a new contact. And it's gonna be Mildred Smith.
Mildred?
Yeah, that was my grandmother's name.
Oh, bless. It's a nice name, but you don't hear it very much.
No, it's definitely old school.
Yeah.
And then we'll just throw a phone number in.
Put an email in.
Yeah, that's fine. Yep.
Mildred Smith. It probably was at AOL.com.
she was not she was not of the email revolution by any means. She actually never drove a vehicle her entire life.
I have an aunt, right? She's passed away now, who never left the town.
Wow.
And she lived to 90-some years old.
Yeah.
Never left the town that she lived in. Weird, bizarre.
I need more change than that.
Yeah. Phone number 321-800-3216.
Awesome.
Okay.
And then I want to create a contact or a custom tag.
Okay. So we're going to go down to tags and we're going to type in.
I want to put in church.
All right. So we know we're from the church. Okay.
Okay. And I want you to notice where when you created the custom tag, the minute you started typing something that didn't work, it said add custom tag. Yes. You don't want to click that add custom tag until you actually get what you want to tag all in there.
Yeah.
Right.
So we have some nice new pastel colors now.
Some people would say nice. Others would disagree.
I like them.
I don't like them as well as the previous ones.
It's calming. We like the lilac here, right?
Well, so you and I need calming, I suppose. But
so we've got the nice calming lilac color for the church.
That works.
All right. So we're going to click add. So now we have the new custom tag.
Yep. And I do want you to go to add more information real quick, because this is another thing that I wanted to touch on. Do you want to mark it as a lead to show something?
No, I don't have to.
Okay. I'm not gonna worry about that right now. So additional contact information and keep going.
We've got home address, mailing address.
Custom.
Okay,
you'll see there is no custom fields. We have the ability to add custom fields, which is awesome. Now, here's one that I use all the time. Holiday pies.
Right. So you got me thinking about movies now.
Right. Create custom field. Okay. And then that is, so go to tech, hit the drop down on text field.
Oh, should I have done?
Yeah.
Holiday pie?
Yep. That's okay. Just remove it. Remove it.
What am I doing? I'll get rid of it. Okay.
Yeah.
Did I do it too
Peter
quick?
got trigger happy on me.
All right. So add custom field.
Yeah.
Holiday pies.
You can't.
No, can't do it. Right,
so just do holiday pies too.
Holiday pie, I'll do. Okay. This is what happens when you got somebody else driving it. Holiday pie. Holiday pie. There we go.
2. Oh, the other one was pies?
Yep.
Okay. This will work. Okay. So you're gonna hit create custom field.
Yeah.
Okay. And then text field, we want to drop down.
Okay. Drop down.
Yep. And my first item is apple.
This is cool. So we're in a pie shop with this.
We are.
Okay.
And then you
Comma
can,
separate.
yep,
So you got peach.
sure.
And what else would
Take
we have?
that G out. Yep. And then pumpkin.
Pumpkin, eh? It's knowing my cat.
And we'll say, is it really? That's funny. And we'll say pecan or pecan, depending on where you're from.
We don't have pecans in England.
No. All right. And then
well, it's a bird, I think.
Is it really? Yeah. And then
something like that.
think we're done up there by holiday pie.
Do I need to go create?
Nope. Done.
Okay, done.
Because that's to create the contact.
All
so
right.
now hit the drop down.
Yep.
Look at that.
And now we can.
Isn't that cool?
Does she want a pumpkin pie or a peach pie?
My grandmother made the best pumpkin pie ever, so that's what we're gonna put there.
We're gonna put
my son even loves it because his Grammy, who my mom, she follows my grandmother's recipe.
You know these pie events,
yeah.
Right? If you'd have said to me 10 years ago, I've got this idea, I'm going to give people pies, I'd be like,
what are you smoking?
Totally crazy. Right?
It is crazy how big they are.
Massive,
right? So what's cool about these custom fields is I can create a custom field like this with the pie that they typically get. And then when I'm making my calls, I can say, hey, Mrs. Smith, it's time for your holiday pie. You got pumpkin last year. Is it the same this year?
Yeah. I mean, it not only is it a great thing to call, but the tangible effect of somebody eating something that you have given to them. I mean, you're literally getting inside them, right?
Especially post-COVID.
Right? Nobody.
All right, that's creepy.
I know, but it is.
That is
you're
creepy.
literally. You know, it's like they taste that pie and go, Brett bought me this. I think I will give him a referral. Right?
I love it.
Yeah, but it's. I know. But I have an agent friend in one of our East Coast offices, and her car was full of pies. Like she piled high of pies. She ended up having to do an event where people came and collected them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So she had like a little church hall thing with all the pies, and then people come down and pick your pie.
Right.
But yeah, it's an awesome way of engaging with your sphere.
That's awesome. So there's an example of what you can use for those custom fields. So now go to create. So we create that contact. And then what I want to do is go back to our contacts. And let's just show them real quick how we could create a church group smart view.
Okay, so that's going to be under a tag. We're going to select church. And we're going to click apply. And now we'll only see Mildred. And then we can create a smart view based on church. So every time we add a new person with the tag church, they will appear in this smart view. So we can call it
Just call it church group.
Church group. Type on this keyboard. I really like it though. All right, so we can set that as our default view if we wish.
Yeah.
We're not going to in this case, but church group smart view. Click save.
And
now all we have to do is select if we're in our normal smart view. We just go here and select our church smart view, and in comes Mildred.
So those
simple,
are awesome,
simple but effective.
Yeah, awesome little features that you may not know about that are built into Command to sort your database and do it very efficiently so that you can just jump right to what you need to. Another thing that a lot of agents are using is the DTD2. And if you're creating your custom tags based on that, you can do a quick search just for that custom tag of A and W. I always remember that one because of the root beer. That is the first part of the DTD2.
So do the database too, which is basically means calling everybody over a 90-day window, so 4 times a year, by associating the first letter of their first
letter of their last name.
Yep.
Last name. Yep. And I jokingly refer to it as the R2D2.
R2D2. Yeah.
But no, that's another thing that you could put in here and create all your custom tags for DTD2. Another thing that I wanted to look at real quick is so the settings, going into settings. So it's I'm telling you, it's like you were in my living room when I was putting this together last night. Because it's the way that we did the custom field in the contact record, you can do it that way, but I had envisioned us going into settings to do it. So now we can go into settings and we can eliminate the one that we messed up.
Okay, so we go to where do we go?
Command settings, and then contacts, and then custom fields.
All right, so we've got the pie that we don't want, which is holiday pies.
Yep.
So we're going to select it and hit delete. Well, we can hit delete up there or down
Yep.
here.
Or we could have just done it down there. Yeah.
Yep. So we'll
Yep.
get rid of that one right there.
Okay. So if you have a whole bunch of custom fields, like in my database, I have dog or cat person, and you select which one or both, right? I have children's names because we don't really want to create a contact record for them. But for me, it's easier to just have a field where I put that in instead of having to do it as a note or in the description or anything like that. You know, any of the information that they've given me, I typically will have a custom field based. Sorry, buddy. Let me just steal that real quick.
Oh, we got a couple of comments.
Yep.
Yep.
And a client sign. Okay, so currently trying to use command while watching you and keep getting the message. Application error. Client side exception has occurred. See the browser console for more information.
Okay,
so,
probably not using Chrome.
Yeah, so that's typical if you're not in Chrome. Can you let us know if you're using Chrome or not?
And also, if you are in Chrome, if it says update on the top right-hand corner of your Chrome window, that's an important tip that we've got to help you with that. So, and there are lots of updates taking place right now, but ours is running okay. So,
yep, absolutely.
So
okay, you can have that back.
All right. So, what we're going to show next is our tips on your list of tips.
Yes. So then we want to go to changing the default account. So there's a lot of people that are in productivity coaching programs and then they're not aware of that. Okay. I don't think that that's going to be here. No. I want to, so Peter, if you'll let me take over, I'm going to jump into my account. We can show what you were talking about earlier with the websites.
Yeah. You might need to change the window that you're sharing.
Yeah, I will.
Yep.
All right. So let's do this. And I'm going to give this back to you and you can just close that window.
Okay. So got the mouse, go to the X and.
All good?
Yeah, I can now see another instance of command running here.
Probably this one. That's okay. We can share this one.
Yep.
So I'm going to jump into mine. I'm going to go ahead and get in safely and confidentially so I don't have to worry about any information I don't want in there.
I suddenly became nervous. And that's our new screen, by the way, if you didn't see that.
I wasn't sharing it so they didn't get to see it.
Okay.
Okay, so everything on here is okay. So I will go ahead and share.
Can't believe we've done an hour and 10 minutes already. So
time flies when you're having fun. Yeah. Okay, so now you're looking at the dashboard home screen, and what Peter was talking about earlier was in your consumer settings, you can go to site and app settings. And then right here under registration, this is the forced registration. So either no property, 2 properties, 10 properties, or unrestricted. Okay.
Try them out. Just try them out.
Yeah. You mean try different settings?
Yep.
Telling our agents to try different settings. Yeah. See what works for you.
Yeah. The quality of lead should improve if you have 2 or 10 properties because they've had a chance to browse, they're stuck with you, then they've registered. So, but the quantity of leads will go up if you have it on restricted, no property.
And I'll tell you where this is important. If you are an agent that's running a lot of Facebook ads and you're driving them to your website, you want it to be unrestricted because you already gathered their information from the Facebook registration form, which is the way that you should be doing your Facebook ads is through Facebook registration.
To make that clear, a lead ad already has a form which they have to fill in.
Right.
It's auto-populated. It's easy to fill in.
Right.
But nevertheless, they don't want to then fill it in again.
Right. So, yeah, and that's what I was getting at. So they already have the form, the lead capture form that Facebook provided. And then the minute they get to your website, if you have it completely restricted, they're having to put in their information again. Yeah. So you wouldn't want
But here's the deal. We're not going to get registrations and we're not going to be able to use the saved search and we're not going to have as much information coming back about the usage of our tools. So we're going to have a strategy to get people to register on the website eventually. So there is an argument for not using a lead ad now and driving people directly to your website with a simple registration. The big problem is you won't get the phone number.
Right.
So there's pluses and minuses to every strategy.
Mhm.
And it's
I think we go with, for me, I would go with what's tried and true. And then when you have the extra money to benchmark it and try it, both ways, then do that.
Yeah, you don't need a great deal, just $10-20.
Mhm.
You can see how it works. But
Okay,
anyway, so the big debate will rage on.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So to change your account, so if you're somebody that's in productivity coaching, or you're on a team of some sort, even expansion teams, it's set up the same way. You're going to click on your name up here next to your icon, your avatar. You're going to click on that, and apparently I need to be in my dashboard. I need to be on the dashboard, and then I can click here, and then here is my team account. You can see I've made that the default. So I click on team, and it will switch over to my team account, and then right back to personal if I want to do that. Okay. I'm not going to get into the nuances of why you should be in one or the other, because every team works differently and they'll have their own rules, and I don't want to step on any toes there. Another thing to make sure that, so like, let's say your team rules are that you have to be in your team account all the time because you're not allowed to be in anything personal, or, create your own personal opportunities, anything like that. Then you can make it your default account by going to settings. And then over here under general settings, you're going to go to default account, and then you just choose the team account, if that's what it is, or the personal, if you're going to operate that way. And now every time you log into Command, you're actually going to be in that account. Okay. Anything else, Peter?
No, I think we'll probably wrap up in a second, but I want to do, maybe not next week, but certainly coming up, is opportunities and DocuSign as a standalone podcast. Would you agree with that?
Sure.
Brett?
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Because it's something we've really got to focus on.
Yeah.
Because for those agents that are in production and have got, business to get written and contracts to get out, I think having the very latest on that will really be helpful. So we'll cover that. These tips, though, are really cool, the ones we've covered. The ability to use bulk actions is the one that stood out for me. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. So I think we'll do that for, this is episode 7, believe it or not.
Wow.
So I think we'll do that for episode 9, because episode 8, we want to kind of get everything from Family Reunion. So we'll have some special guests on with us and get some of the good news that came out at Family Reunion. Just real quick, one thing that I want to show is, we're familiar with custom tags for contacts because we showed you that. And there are also custom tags, a completely separate tag database for opportunities, which I find very useful too. So let me just show you that real quick. I'm going to jump into my settings, and I'm going to go to opportunity settings and opportunity tags. And I'll just give you a little glimpse of what I have here. So condo, vacant land, single family, commercial lease, landlord. If it's a referral that I get from somebody, I can have it like that as well. If I'm doing 72 sold, right, I could have a 72 sold opportunity tag so that I can tell in one shot. Yeah. True. But I can tell in one shot where that referral is coming from. So just wanted to put that out there too, so that you're aware of that little tip. And I think that was a pretty informative show. What about you, buddy?
It went so fast. I mean, I know people are probably wondering why we do an hour, because it takes an hour, right? Using Chrome Unupdated, so that person's having a little problem still.
Yeah. So whoever that is, if you feel comfortable, you can either private message us through the Facebook group, or if you want to leave your email or just your name so that we can reach out to you, whatever you feel comfortable with. Leave that information so we can reach out to you and talk you through that, please. We don't want you to have that issue. Yeah, so and if it's something we can fix, we will.
Yeah, one thing I'd just quickly do is use an incognito window real quick, because a lot of people have apps which they don't necessarily know have been installed into their browser. What do they call them? Integrations?
They're
I forget the name of them.
It's like plugin.
Yeah, so these browser plugins that can be installed by these extensions. Yeah. So if you open a new window and select incognito and then try and run again, that will tell us if there's something in your browser which is interfering with the system. And
Yeah,
obviously,
it doesn't show my whole browser window when I share my screen, so I can't show that to you. But yes, please reach out. We would love to get that help for you so that we can eliminate that frustration for you.
I can actually look on the group and see
Okay.
who's engaging, and we'll reach out to you.
Awesome.
Right. So next week we're going to have the family reunion update. It's going to be so exciting. There's so much happening in the next few days.
There is. I can't wait to. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody's social media, and then of course getting that information back from. We have a couple. Well, our regional tech trainer who was our guest last week, Ryan Yarbrough, he's going. Ariel Hernandez, our South Florida Trainer of the Year.
Chris Orsini.
The year before. Yep, Mr. Orsini's going too. So we're going to get some special guests and find out all kinds of good stuff next week. So thanks for tuning in. If you like what you're seeing here, please consider subscribing to the YouTube channel, like this video. And if there's certain ideas that you would like us to cover, by all means, drop it in the comments below the video and we'll put those episodes together based on your ideas. Okay, we're here to help you. That's the main reason. One of the main reasons for this podcast is so that we can meet you where you are. If you don't have an MCTT, or you've got the resources of us. If you do have an MCTT, we want to get you engaged with them too, and we can be your liaison there. So thanks for tuning in. Had a great time, Peter, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.